Hi guys, well, it's been quite a while since I sent a video out, and for obvious reasons there's enough to look at the moment in terms of the concerns with the COVID-19 and what it's doing, and obviously getting government reports. And also, because of social media, of course, there are so many reports out there from various sources, be it sources in China, sources in Italy, sources in South Africa, sources in the USA, whatever, which is causing a great deal of confusion, in some areas causing a great deal of concern, and in other areas just making it fairly trivial. Now, I don't think, well, I'd like to think most people have now come to terms with the fact that COVID-19 is a serious disease, and it's not just like a flu that hurts a few old people. It's a lot more to it than that. It's not something to mess with. And it's obviously clear that there's a process to follow to beat this disease, until one gets the antidote, the vaccine that's going to protect everybody. And in reality, we're talking 18 months, possibly sooner, but let's make this out. So we have to live with this. We have to live with this, and we have to adapt new ways of surviving, of living in the world. That's it. I can see that clearly, despite what everyone else says. It just has to happen. Now, the British government has put together daily communication with the experts, the head of the medical profession and the head scientist, to actually give us updates on a regular basis as to where we are, what's happening. And Boris Johnson, being the sort of leader he is, stands in the middle and gives a political position as well in terms of what the government need to do and what he's asking the people to do. Now, some people are criticising him for not being hard enough. Other people are criticising him for being too hard. So it's a no-win situation for him, but he's not interested. The point is, this is about preventing a virus from spreading, preventing the number of people catching the virus, and protecting the NHS. So there are certain things we should not mess around with when it comes to isolating ourselves from crowds, for example. Keeping away from social gatherings, closing pubs or not going into pubs. These are all areas where the bug can be transferred from one person to another. This is a disease which is being spread around the world by people, and people coming into contact with people. Yes, it might be through touching services and everything else, but it's people that are spreading this disease. And therefore people have got to listen, they've got to take notes, and they've got to self-isolate at the right times. They've got to remain within their own family units for as much as possible, and even take it to the level of isolating to a large extent, even in family situations. We're going to be fighting this for quite a while. It's not something that's going to go away in a few months. Again, I was listening to the television today. I mean, okay, it's the 20th of March. Yesterday, Boris made a point. Someone asked the question, how long will these strict measures be enforced? And of course, Boris couldn't really answer that. The scientists gave a scientific answer. But he gave an opinion. The question was also asked, do you think we can, when do you think we will be able to relax some of our current way of life in terms of the way we have to live in semi-isolation? And Boris said, well, he hoped to beat the disease within 12 weeks. And a few people questioned it. The scientists didn't comment on it. But Boris was asked a question, his opinion. That's not a scientific answer, that's just his opinion. And what he's basically saying is, if we can do what we're told within 12 weeks, he would like to think, based on the reports and studies he's seeing firsthand from the groups that are working around him, the experts, he would like to think that the growth curve of the epidemic in the UK will start to come down. It will go in the other direction. Now, it all depends on us, the people. It all depends on us doing the good things about keeping ourselves away from people unless it's absolutely necessary. When we do get the symptoms, isolating ourselves in our homes and making everybody aware of that so that they don't come into contact with us by accident. It is so critical. It is common sense. I mean, this issue about washing your hands that's been joked about by some people is the best initial advice that was being given by the government and the medical experts, because it is where the whole process starts to go wrong. And we should all still be doing that. I mean, my hands are cracked with bloody, my knuckles are just with washing hands. But we've got to do it. We've got to keep doing it. Yes, the virus might still get through to us at some point, but it can happen. Questions being asked by the media in some respects are silly questions. Questions that they really know the answers to, but they still want to ask the question to put Boris Johnson on the spot. I listen to it and I think, well, what a stupid question. We know we're in crisis mode as far as dealing with the virus, and we have got a plan to sort it out. There is a plan, and it will be sorted out. We know there are going to be, unfortunately, people dying from this disease, and we've got to accept that fact. Some people will trivialise that as well. They say, well, it's a very low percentage. People die of the flu every year and blah, blah. No, look, I don't want us to get flippant with it either. It's a serious disease, but it's not something that everyone should be panicking about. There should be no panic. Anxiety should be kept to a minimum. Anxiety levels raise other problems for everybody as well, because it raises the whole point of being, your immune system gets affected with anxiety, as some of my friends will know who are doctors out there. So we've got to be sensible in this thing, and this is really a little message going out to my friends and family, and we've got to just do the right things. Now, I know some of us are more anxious than others based on their own personal circumstances. It might be their business is failing badly. Well, I can't think of any businesses really doing well at the moment, unless you make toilet rolls, probably. But businesses are under pressure. People's lives are under pressure. People can't get money for food. And if they do have money, they still can't get any food because there isn't anything in the supermarkets at the moment. These are all things that our administration, government, will be sorting out in the next few days. I've got no doubt about that. And we'll follow this diary and we'll see how it goes. So I know people are anxious. There are lots of anxiety out there, but it doesn't help to be worrying constantly about things that are beyond our control. We are in a different world. Fabric of our society has changed dramatically overnight, and it's going to be like this for a long time. We've got to get used to it. It may never be the same again, let's be realistic, but we've got to get used to that. We've got to find new ways, new methods of doing things. Because forget about COVID-19. It's what could come after COVID-19, and so on and so on and so on. So we've got to be realistic. This as bad as the COVID-19 is, it could have been a lot worse. Imagine, it could have been even worse, with more fatalities. We've got a situation that we're busy grappling with to get under control and make it work. So I know my friends, colleagues, some are more anxious than others. I mean, how do I feel? Well, I mean, my business is affected. Of course it is. I've got very little going on. As you know, I'm a consultant. I have products come in from abroad. I have customers in the UK. I have customers in other parts of the world. That's basically all gone now. That's gone. So I have very little, other than I've got some caring front line that I'm involved in. There is very little going on. Richie, my wife, she's in the NHS, so she's frontline. She's in the hospital. She's going in there and doing her job. 2 children that we have still living at home. Roxy, who's doing her A-levels this year. Well, she's not doing them now. That's it. That's finished. So she's got her own anxieties she's dealing with at the moment, and obviously she's now in a position where when she finishes school today, because school's been stopped and it looks like it won't be starting again until September, so she's going to have to fall in line with social responsibility, not going to see her friends, not going to her weekend parties, etc. This is tough. Mikey, who's upstairs, as we know, he's out of school. He's probably looking at it more positively. He now can get cracking on his games and things he likes doing up in his bedroom. And we'll go around and see him just now and see what he thinks. I'm kind of managing the home scenario at the moment because I feel it's my responsibility Richie's at work now. I'm doing certain things, so cleaning, housekeeping, gathering food, hunting, gathering, etc. Doing all those things as well as trying to obviously muster up a bit of a living at the same time. We've also changed because of our different routes that we go into the world at the moment and then coming back, we've also thought about how we work in the house now and how we look at the house. So we're taking, the house should be everyone's or apartment or where you live is your safe zone. You've got to make it your safe zone. You make it clean by knowing who's going in and out of it. You're in control of your area, your space, so you can keep it clean. You keep yourself clean, you keep it clean, free of disease. And that's what people have got to get into the habit of doing. Door handles, light switches, bathroom, washing your hands regularly. All these things are absolutely critical. Taking your shoes off, coming into the house to ensure you're not bringing anything in on your foot from public places. These are all critical things to ensure you beat the disease, because it can be beaten and it will be beaten. Some people say, crikey, Richie working in the NHS, she's exposing herself to lots of people. Of course she is. And a lot of people would say, well, I don't blame her if she didn't go. But, if she's got a very different mind, a professional mind that says, look, if any of us if we do get sick and we end up in hospital, we want to hope people are on the front line there to help us to ensure we don't suffer any further and can get sorted out. Now, that's the mindset. There are doctors, there are nurses and carers out there caring for people, and they are front line. Then you've got the people who provide the services for them, the logistics people, the truck drivers, you know, the supermarket, all these people, they're frontline as well. But they all have to have so there's not one rule that fits everyone, but those people on that front line have got to be additionally careful about what they're doing, what they're touching, when they are touching, how they deal with that, how they wipe it, so they don't bring it back into their environment when they're off duty. Very critical. And again, yes, it can be done, and it is being done. And that's how we beat this. And we're going to beat this, for sure. I mean, things we do, because of our situation, because of Rich's scenario, because we've got kids in the house, we've decided we're isolating ourselves. Not isolating, that's the wrong. Isolation only comes into play when you have the symptoms for the disease and you've got to then self-isolate. But we are sort of in that position where we've split ourselves up a little bit within the house and have our own safe zones within the safe zone, if you like, for whatever. So the home is a safe zone, and then within that home we then guard our own little safe zones and make them work as well. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, in my safe zone, for want of a better word, I've always had my office, you know, my work situation here, where you always see me when I've been making videos and working, etc., and talking to people online. So my study has now become my own personal bedroom as well. Yes, I've got a bed in here now as well, and I can really self-isolate now for if I have to cut myself out. I'm in a position now. I have my TVs and my office, my books, my everything around me, and a place I can sleep now. So everyone's got their own. Richie's got the main bedroom, being the boss, and I'm demoted to the downstairs study where I can literally live. And look, sometimes I have had to live down here because of other reasons. No, but we won't go into that. So yeah, everyone's got their own bathroom as well. I've got the downstairs bathroom, which is now isolated for me and me only. So here I am. Here's the bathroom with shower, which is pretty good actually, because I can then don't have to stand and wait for Roxy to do her makeup and stuff like that. The kitchen, we prepare the meals for everybody, obviously, and care is taken. So I have a little area I control for myself, but obviously the whole area is also bug free. We there's a role of cleaning door handles, lights all the time. Richie's at work, so I'm not going to introduce her. Mike is here. So this is all the rooms. You can see all the doors are shut. Everyone's got their own controls for their own rooms. This is Rich's room, and to the right in there she's got her own shower and bathroom. So that's all taken care of as well. Coming into Mikey's room now. This is Mikey's room. Hi Mikey, say hi.
Hello.
Mikey's room he's got the largest room in the house actually. He's got lots of space. Computers, PlayStation 4s, smart TVs. Everything is in here, isn't it, boy? Yeah?
Yeah.
And he has his bathroom across the passageway there, which he shares with Roxanne. So both Mikey and Roxy are sharing their own bathroom. But this is how we're doing it. What do you want for lunch?
Pizza.
Pizza, okay. Okay, well, I'm not going to show you around the whole house. Not everybody's here. But let me go and get Mikey a pizza. And talk to you soon. Talk to you again tomorrow. Cheers. Bye-bye.